Hello, my fourth grade friends, and welcome to the first day of lesson 4. So this week we are working on adding whole numbers. So with the video today, we are going to be doing pages 49 and 50. And then it's your job after watching the video to do page 52. And then you have to show me your page 52, whether it's live on Google Meet or on Seesaw. If you do not show me that page, you will not get points for the day, okay? So you need to make sure you are showing me page 52 once you finish. And also, just a note, this video is to not just do the work for you, it's to have you do the work and then kind of check in with yourself too, okay? So don't let me do all the work here, you need to do some too. So today our learning target is to add and subtract multi-digit whole numbers using the standard algorithm. And we're going to talk more about that as time goes on. So let's look at number 1 on page 49. Katie has 3,437 stamps in her collection, and Steve has 942 stamps in his collection. Now, there's multiple ways we can go about doing this. We can draw a picture using our place value blocks, but once we start getting into the thousands, it gets a little confusing. So what we're going to do is we're going to line them up by place value, very similar to how we used to compare them in the place value charts, but this time we're not going to have the place value charts to help us. Now for this to work, we need to start with the largest number on top because this number has more place values, so it's easier to line up if this one is on top. So we're going to put Katie's number of stamps on top, so we have 3,437, and then Steve's 942. Now, I'm not going to write my 9 under my 3 because this 3 is in the thousands and this 9 is in the hundreds. So you need to make sure you're neatly lining up your place value. So for this one, we have a 9, a 4, and a 2. We have nothing in the thousands, so we're not going to have anything there. If it helps to add the 0 there, go for it. If not, we are ready to start adding. So we're going to put our plus sign in our bar. So now, the trick with adding is, as you all know from last year, to start in the ones place. So that's where we're going to start. And we just go up and down by place value. So first we're going to do 7 plus 2, which is 9. And then we're just going to keep going. So I want you to try solving this on your own and then check in. So make sure you pause and try this out on your own. Now that you've tried it, we have 4 plus 3, which is 7. And then we have 9 plus 4, which is 13. And we know from 3rd grade that I'm not going to write a 13 here. I'm going to give that 1, which is really 100 in this case, to my thousands place. So we're going to keep my 3. And then we're going to give a 100 to my 1,000. So now it's 3,000 plus 1,000, which gives us 4,000. So our answer is 4,379. But as we know from 4th grade so far, we always need to have a sentence to explain our thinking. So we're going to say, Katie and Steve have 4,379 stamps in all. And we're going to circle it because in 4th grade we always circle our answer so it's easy to see. And then we are done with problem 1. So as always, friends, if you have any questions at all, please make sure you're joining that Google Meet. We are there to work through it together. I am there to help you, okay? So make sure you're using that resource on Google Meet. So now we're going to do page 50 together. So number 1 is looking back at the problem we did on page 49. So we need to explain how you can find the number of stamps Katie and Steve have in all. And for this one, it's just asking for a strategy. So for this one, a possible answer is we could draw a picture. We could line them up by place value and add them that way, which we did. And we could combine like place values. So we have 2 options here. So to solve, we could draw a picture or combined by place value, which is what we did on the first page. So these are two different ways that we're going to talk about how to solve, okay? So, looking ahead, there are many ways to add numbers. For example, you can use drawings, which we talked about, or base 10 blocks. You can also break apart numbers to add numbers by place value, or use an algorithm. An algorithm is a set of steps used to solve a problem. When you line up numbers by place value, you use an algorithm. So when we lined them up on page 49, we were using an algorithm. So suppose you want to add greater numbers like 35,705 and 23,241. So now for this one, excuse me, we're going to start with lining up by place value, and then we're going to go and draw the picture. And I'm going to tell you why once we do the lining up by place value. So they already lined it up for us. They have the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and 10,000s lined up by place value. So now it's our job to add them together. So we're going to start all the way in the ones and work our way to the left. So we have 5 plus 1, which is 6. We have 0 plus 4, which is 4. 7 plus 2, which is 9. 5 plus 3, which is 8. And 3 plus 2, which is 5. Now it's a little off because my marker can't write that small, but that just means our answer is 58,946, okay? Now, if we were to draw a picture, we need to keep this number in mind. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So, I'm going to talk about this super quick, and I'm going to explain why this probably isn't the best way to do adding of such larger numbers. So when we're first starting with addition, we use place value blocks to help us. So we'll have the hundreds block, we'll have the 10 rod, and then we'll have the little 1 cube, right? And then if we want to, we can go and make that huge thousands block, right? Which is all the hundreds together. But with numbers like 35,705 and 23,241, this gets very tricky because then you'll have a bunch of different blocks and pictures and squares, and it just gets super confusing. Now, don't get me wrong, this strategy is great for smaller numbers, but when we're dealing with larger numbers in the 10,000s and the thousands and the 100,000s, drawing a picture just isn't the best way. It's obviously doable, but lining up by place value is the more, I don't want to say easier way, but it's the less time consuming way. So it takes the less time and you still get an accurate answer. So me talking just then and there kind of explained why I circled it. So if we look, it says without adding, circle the strategy that might be best for adding, and just trying to draw the picture, we can tell that lining up by place value is the way to go. And it's just because lining up by place value is less time consuming. It takes less time. So it takes less time while still getting an accurate answer. And accurate just means correct, okay? So while still getting a correct answer, it's easier, it takes less time, and we're still correct, okay? And then number 3 is kind of what you prefer. So looking at the problem above, so looking at these two options, would the sum be the same whether you drew it, or you lined it up by place value, or used another strategy? And we already kind of talked about that, where obviously, if we do it correctly, either way would give us the same answer. It's just a matter of which strategy works best for us. So that's what we're going to say. So the strategy doesn't change the answer. As long as it's done correctly. And then you can just think, friends, whichever strategy works best for you, it makes the most sense to you, that's the one you can do, okay? So now that we completed pages 49 and 50 together, it is your job to do page 52 on your own and then show me either live on the Google Meet or on Seesaw. If you don't show me on either of those platforms, you will not receive credit for today's class. So make sure once you finish this video, you're moving right into the independent work in the workbook, and then you are showing me whether it's on Google Meet or Seesaw. If you have any questions about what we just did together, please also join the Google Meet so I can help you, because that is why I am here. Happy math!